So guys, I made the decision recently to delete most of the investing apps from my smartphone, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why. So, let's get into it. Welcome to Millennials with Money. My name is Johnny. Thank you for joining me for this video. Let's get this money. Now, first things first, does this mean that I'm stopping investing altogether? Absolutely not. Quite the opposite. I'm still very much investing. We can all see what's going on in the market right now, and I think it's a really good time and there are a lot of opportunities in the market. And when we look at the range of investing services and platforms in Europe that I tend to talk about a lot on this channel, we tend to find that they often have a web presence or a web application where you can make investments on your laptop from your computer, and many of them also have a mobile application where you can do the same things from the comfort of your smartphone. And this is what I'm referring to here, is that I'm removing the smartphone apps from my phone. Whilst I've been using the mobile apps, I've found them very useful, very handy. You can open your lock screen, press a little button, you're in the app, and within a couple of minutes you can place a trade, you can add money to your account, you can check what's going on in the market, whatever you want to do. So why would I want to get rid of the apps that give me the convenience and comfort of investing at my fingertips? Maybe that's part of the problem. So with that said, let me go through a few of the reasons why I've decided to remove some investing apps from my phone. Reason number one comes down to self-discipline, and it comes to me wanting to look at my portfolio all the time. Obviously, if you've got an app where you can just open your phone, press a button, and you're in there and you can see how your portfolio is doing, then it's really easy and it's very tempting to go in and do it. You could be on public transport, you could be out for a walk, heck, you could be at a restaurant or a bar and your friend's gone to the bathroom and you want to check how your portfolio is doing really quickly. When I look at my portfolio from my phone, I tend to have one of three reactions. Number one is, wow, this is great, everything is going fantastic. Number two, there's some opportunities here. Why don't I buy this? Why don't I sell this? Number three is, why isn't it going faster? Why is my portfolio not growing? It's like watching paint dry. Now, a good investor, yes, from time to time will need to check on their investments, will need to review how things are going compared with their goals, compared to what the strategy is they've laid out, and then they can make decisions about what to do next. However, if you do that too frequently, if you're constantly checking your portfolio, you're constantly going to be filling your mind with ideas and thoughts and noise and possible distractions, and it can actually end up being very counterproductive. Which leads me on to the next point, which is I removed some of these apps to prevent me from making rash decisions as a result. Now, I'm sure that at least one time in your life you've been to the sales or you've been shopping, you've seen an item you liked, it's on sale, and you have this intense urge to buy it because it's like, wow, this is a fantastic deal. If I don't get this now, I'm gonna miss out. And I think the same thing can happen to us as investors sometimes. The stock market might be down, or we might see a particular stock is trading down. We might think, wow, this is a perfect deal. We have to buy it. We have to take advantage now, or we might miss out. And I think by having your portfolio at that fingertips, it can potentially lead to that kind of behavior if you're not careful and you're not disciplined enough as an investor. You can be willing to just go and rush in and buy the next hottest stock that you've seen because you think that it's going to do really well and that you think that it can't go any lower than it is right now. When in actual fact, there is probably a possibility that it can go lower and you haven't done your research about this particular investment, this company, this fund, whatever it may be, that you want to just buy at the drop of a hat. I always emphasize the importance of understanding what you're investing in and doing your research before making any major financial decisions. And I think it's fair to say that more often than not, if you find yourself in this situation where you want to buy a stock really quickly because it's at a discount, then more often than not, you won't have done your research on this stock. Maybe you've heard a few things about the company, maybe you've got a bit of an understanding, but you have to think, does it really fit in with your strategy, or is it just, this looks good, I want it right now? Is it really going to give you the returns that you need? And the third reason is that I'm generally trying to reduce my smartphone usage to be able to have more focus, have more capacity to be more productive. Not that I consider myself an unproductive person, but there's times when I do find myself spending more time on my smartphone than I'd like to. And yes, we can throw in the argument that finance and investing apps are productivity apps and that any time we spend on them is actually good productive time. But you've got to really think about yourself. How much of the time you spend on these apps are you actually making quality decisions that are really contributing towards your wealth? How many of them are in line with your strategy? How many times is it that you're actually just checking on your portfolio and it's not really you making decisions that will impact your future. For me, I found that counterproductive, as I said, and by removing these apps, what I'm essentially forcing myself to do is sit down at a computer when I have time, when I have the mental capacity to do it, and really think carefully and in detail about how my investing is going, if I want to change up my strategy at all, if I should be adjusting my allocations, if I want to increase the amount I'm investing, rather than just making those decisions in a matter of seconds or a matter of minutes just through looking through my phone. I think it's really important that when you're investing long term, that you don't just make these decisions really quickly, that you do take time to think about them, because ultimately it's your wealth journey, and the decisions you take today will impact your future, and you know, the investments you make today could be differences of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, pounds, euros, whatever your currency is. So for me, I really decided I just wanted to sit down at a computer and make these decisions in a clear frame of mind. Now, for those of you that have stayed to this point in the video, a little bonus point of discussion. So if I've removed my investing apps from my phone, have I also removed my online banking? And the answer to this is no. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, although I want to apply the same principles that I apply to my investing apps to my personal banking, that's to say that I manage my bank accounts when I'm sat down, when I'm at a computer, when I'm thinking clearly and not kind of on the go or in a rush. One thing that I find really valuable about my online banking apps are the notifications that come through for transactions. We're obviously living in a world where cybersecurity is becoming more and more important, and we're seeing more and more scams and fraudulent activity, particularly in the personal finance space. So for me, although I don't want to manage my money at the tip of my fingers, I do want to be notified immediately if there is some fraudulent activity in my account, or a strange transaction that goes through, or if someone is trying to authorize a transaction. I want to be notified immediately so that I can deal with the problem as quickly as possible. And for that reason, I've kept those apps on my phone, because I feel like that's the quickest way for me to be alerted if something like that does happen. I hope you found this discussion interesting and thought-provoking, guys. Leave a comment and let me know, would you consider doing something like this? And also, let me know if you like the new setup. I've tried something a bit different, and I hope you guys find it nice and visually appealing. Now, why not check out my other videos? And if you're not yet subscribed and you want to see more content like this, then make sure you hit the subscribe button with the notification bell so that you don't miss a single update. I'll see you on the next one, and let's get this money.